Once more, hello. Once more, back with Farmland Flats. Yeah, it's coming along. Yeah. Let's have a little look. So, what we've got. Done a little bit, laid out a few more roads over here. I put a few more houses in here. Had a little experiment at putting in some fencing on the back of these ones that don't have fencing for their back gardens. Yeah, gonna have a think about that. Looks alright, I think. These could do something similar. I've got this area here. Now, this is going to be the focus for now. I've still got more industrial demand. The coal mine is coming along. I've got the extra trucks, which I found, so some proper tipper trucks that look a lot better than the big articulated ones. There is a lorry that comes out of here that's got a steel load on the back of it. Unfortunately, it's a very American style cab. I've not quite found out how to find a UK style one with the sort of normal style cab yet. We'll deal with that. Road area around here seems to be running quite nicely. Yeah, decorated at the entrance here with a few signs. Their roundabout's got some signs. They're not, strictly speaking, it's a side road coming onto a dual carriageway sign, but it's a roundabout. It sort of works from that angle. Yeah. So, while we've still got a lot more industrial demand, that's going to sit and wait for a little bit. Industry does make you quite a bit of money. I wouldn't mind having more, but I don't yet have a huge amount of space. Short of trying to bring a farm in, and I don't have anything like the funds to bring a farm in. Not yet, anyway. Although that is going to happen. This area down here, I'm going to go in. I'm going to mark it out so that we know this area here is going to become a farm with farm fields. And then I suspect up here is also going to become a bit of a farm for some of the bits that don't need crops. So they'll do some like the animal fields and whatever. Harwich Trading Estate. I'm going to change that, I think, to Harwich Farm. There we are. We now have a farm there. Imagination is required. Anyway, back to over here. This bit here. This is going to be a park. It's going to be another city park because I quite like the city parks. See, a nature reserve doesn't fit. There's nothing there. A zoo isn't, I don't think, particularly appropriate, nor is a big amusement park. So we're going to have a city park. I'm actually going to have a few of these in this area here. So I'm going to start off with one of those, which is then going to get movited. I can grab it and get the appropriate bit. Is going to get movited to the centre there. That'll do. And I am then going to go in with... and just put a couple more car parks nearby, because that'll help, I feel. And again, I'm going to move those just in a bit like that. There we go. That'll do. Chandwell Country Park. As a name, I don't object to that. So what we're going to do is start small. No, we're not. We are going to remove the industry area from next to it because I got that wrong. And what we're going to do is expand this park. Get rid of all of this. Right. That one. There we are. Going to extend this out. We'll run down here alongside this path. There may be other entrances put in. I'm not quite sure yet. Up to around near where the school is. Yeah, it makes sense to have a little side gate down here, I feel. City Park. I want that's main gate. I want a side gate Not in park area. Well, there's a very simple solution to that, which is make this road a little bit longer. And that road is going to go to there. And now I can put the park side gate on. There. But again, I'm going to give that a car park next to it. Because this is the UK, we like putting car parks in places. Right. There are going to be a little bit of fencing done now, but most of the fencing will come later when I've got a little bit more money on this. So, a park fence. There we are, that one will do. There we are. See? Oh, yeah. Park fence, it just looks a bit better. Sort of railings and so on and so forth. Right, park. This is... It's not a deliberate attempt at cheesing this to get money as people walk through. Although we probably will get money as people walk through here. And... You know what? I actually don't want that in the middle. What I want in the middle... Roughly in the middle. Doesn't have to be spot on in the middle. Let's turn all these back on, which will make life a little bit simpler. Accept road guidelines. Road guidelines are good in some ways. In others, I find them utterly infuriating. In terms of they invariably try to snap to something you don't want them to. Right. What I'm going to do is that. Then I'm going to turn all that back off again, go back into this, and that in there like that. There we are. Because off this I can then put some other bits. It'll just sort of sweep around over here. I can't put an entrance path down here easily, not without it objecting in various ways. They may end up with another gate over there, but that'll do for now. Right. Enough with that nonsense. What does this park require? So, quite a bit more attractiveness is required. Now, the beauty is, of course, I've unlocked level 2 because I've already got another park. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of these chessboard things in. Which looks quite nice. Over here somewhere, restrooms and a small cafe, and then we'll see if that does what it needs to do. Oh, look, it's raining. Not quite, need a little bit more. Oh, and then I need obviously to put the water pipes in. We'll do that. That should deal with that problem. Info booth. Yeah, why not? Info booth, gift shop, whatever it is down there. And you can hear the sound in the background of people upgrading. I love the rain look on this, especially when you hit pause. And you can you realise it is individual raindrops. It seems to be simulating that you're driving through. Yeah, quite interesting. Land value. You see, this is going to boost, and it already has done. This is going to boost the land value around here significantly, which is what I want. So yeah, this is what's going to happen here. Yes, it does need a bit more fencing, so I'll put some fencing in. I shall be back in a minute. Okay, so yeah, that'll do as a park to start with. It's not huge, but it'll do. A few trees. There's space to put some other bits and pieces in there. Again, I don't. It doesn't have to be massive. I mean, that'll get up to level 2 fairly easily. It may make a bit of money as people wander through. It may not. Not put another entrance around here. We shall see. Eventually, I may just open this up and just connect the paths in. It doesn't have to be a money spinner. It's people from here, they can get round over here quite easily anyway. Down here, they can. Okay, getting over here is a little bit more awkward, but that'll do. Right. Industry. I need more industry. So what I'm going to do is put in, I think, some. Let's go in and put a normal around here. This little area here. And what I'm going to do is go into the industry specializations, or that bit, and then I can make that bit into some generic industry, which will assist slightly in the industry demand we have. So turn all that back on, except road guidelines, which is a bit annoying because I don't want that on. And why not? Why not go all the way to the end? Check we've got water, we have, and then that. Start off just doing the back. It's probably going to fill in fairly heavily. Don't necessarily want a load more along there. We do have some office space capability, so I'm actually going to go in and put a few office buildings about. Not many. I don't want too many of them. Just a few. They'll also count in. I don't have universities and so on and so forth at the moment, so that's going to be problematic. Now these generic industries, specialised industries, only ever get single levels, but they tend to look a little bit more appropriate for the area they are. The idea of the rail connection over here is gone a little bit pear-shaped. That needs a lot more population. 12,000. And we're on 9,000 at the moment. I mean, we're growing. I mean, the population is going up quite nicely. So yes, up to a small city. So about another 3,000 odd. Monorail we won't need for this city. We're not that modern. Rail is potentially useful. Cable cars don't need. Yoga garden, you never know. There's a few more rail stations here. I've not used trains in this. What's that one? Small soccer stadium. I've not used that until, for a while recently. Where is the football stadium in Barnsley? Yeah. So Barnsley. This would carry on down here to another roundabout. Over here there is a big Morrison's. This road carries on. This goes down. There's then a little junction, and it carries off, and then the football stadium stuff's like over there. Yeah, as I said, I think I'm going to run out of space long before I get that. We do still have more housing demand, which is there is zoned spaces for housing. Putting the fences here has taken out the zoning on there, but as long as it doesn't take out the houses, I don't care. What we now need is this area over here. Is going to get some more housing as around this bit. And what I'm going to do is I want this sort of housing to carry on down the road. There is a little bit of commercial going to spawn in around here, so I need to make sure that this style, or I have old retail, that's okay. What I'm going to do is carry on down here. Water is in. this bit here, I'm going to put a few more houses in. Not many more, but a few more. Go to there with housing, and then I'm going to put some retail in down here. Doesn't have to be huge, just a few little bits and pieces. I can bring in some access into the back of that if I need to. This bit here could do with a road off over into here, as could this. Ideally, however, these need to be smaller roads, because what I don't want is people using this as a shortcut to avoid the roundabout. So let's just bring in a road like so, and what we're going to have is more of the higher density housing on these older, narrower roads. Is how we're going to do this. And we're going to come into the back of this estate and do a few bits like this. Carry that on a little bit further. Like that. And then that carry out again a little bit further. I'm going to bring that one more down like that, and then that's going in there. And that's getting locked out. And this bit here needs some more of this stuff, which is going to get coming off there like that. And then we'll put some pathways in, and I'll put some housing in. I'll be back in a minute. Right, back with that now. As you can... well, firstly, as you can tell, I was playing on faster speed than I was intending to. We also have a little bit of a crime problem, so what I'm going to do... local police station, how big's that? That's not very big. What I'm actually going to do is put in a local police station. There isn't one actually here, but obviously this is a... an artifact of the game, really. Put some of those in. They can send out various police cars, and they'll go and arrest the criminals, which will assist again in sorting out land value and what have you. And again, these lovely little houses conform really nicely to the terrain, which is one of the reasons I like using them. I also have to change the roads. It occurred to me these little side entrances are brilliant, but there's no parking on them, so that is going to cause all sorts of problems. So I got rid of that. Land value, you see, it's not brilliant around here. There's going to be schools and things added over this side. Now, around here gets a bit more interesting. I actually want some... There's a quick fit and a few other sort of similar things around here. The problem, of course, in game is if you set that up as a industry, you get pollution and it starts killing people. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather not kill people if I can avoid it. Speaking of industry, let's go and have a little look and see how down here is looking. Well, whatever they are, they're... I've never done the generic or industry industries before. And yes, I wouldn't say they're particularly brilliant. What I'm going to do now is drop in some different sized ones and see if we get something else spawn in on that bit. There we go. Right. Back over here. Now, at the moment, I don't have any commercial demand, and I probably won't have for a while since I've built in quite a bit of. The Tesco's down here will suck up. Oh, it's closed again. This will suck up quite a bit. We have garbage problems again. What else have we got? So yeah, processing status is a bit low. We do have a couple of recycling centres dotted about. This is something actually that would fit over here quite nicely. Is another little recycling centre around the back of the what's intended to be a retail park. Like I say, eventually, I'm hoping I'm going to get some demand in around here. Do we have any other? No, I've only got the normal garbage trucks available. So yeah, so those estates over there. We've got all this little bit over here. Got some more green, lots of people moving in, or we like lots of people moving in. How's this doing? 84. See again, the traffic. It's busy, but it's not broken. Now normally on my previous computer, this would have been about as big as I could get a city. I found if I got much above about 10,000, things fell over, which wasn't particularly good. So, see in here, put in a pub. I put in some space here for some more shops, so as things are needed, they can grow in. There are a few shops in this style, so yeah, this is all right. This bit down here needs more of this style of house, although I've got the space. I've got 4 deep, so I can. Want those or do I want? You know, I think I do want more housing down here, just because this road, it's the sort of road that's got a bit of housing on it. What I'm actually going to do is put some more terrace housing on. That'll do. UK 10. I've subsequently picked up a lot more blocks of housing. Brick terrace 1. There we go. We put in some pathways because we need some pathways, really. The bits right off the roundabout are going to be left. I don't want those houses immediately on the roundabout. I think that doesn't look very good. We'll come all the way down here with some more housing. We still have lots of housing demand. I do get the impression that manually placing housing... I don't like it on that diagonal. Manually placing housing doesn't meet the... doesn't necessarily meet the demand. It does bring in a lot of people, and this is why the city's population is growing so rapidly, is because obviously I'm placing a lot of housing, and when you do that, people move in. So we shall see how that goes. There we are, like that. Yeah, so I'm in here. The houses are varying. I mean, you could go in and say, I want this style of house visually forever. I actually quite like it when they break up a little bit and it just changes the vision. I know it looks a little bit daft, this sort of house alongside these, but you go round this sort of part of towns like this and you'll find that it was all this sort of house and some have been knocked down, and usually they've taken out 2 or 3 of these and put 4 or 5 of a slightly smaller, more modern house in, which can look a little bit odd. More industry. Where can I put... I need another industrial park. I could just run for a while and then put the farm in. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to hit fast forward for a bit. We'll come back to the daytime. I'm just going to keep an eye on things, but hopefully that is going to produce some more money, so I'll catch you shortly. Okay, right, that's not quite daylight, but we now have enough money, so excuse me, I'm going to... Police station doing quite nicely. Just put another little park in down here, little five-a-side pitch and some bits on the side of it. Land value is doing all right, though this park has made a difference, shall we say, by the look of that. That looks quite nice. Yes, that's made quite a difference. Other stuff can go over here, whether this links through, whatever. Right. Job of the moment is this farm. So let me just see exactly right. The farm does go all the way over. So we're going to put the farm main buildings are going to be off here somewhere. And say this becomes a processing bit, and I'll put some fields in down here. So let's have a little look. This is going to end up being quite busy, perhaps. So I may have to upgrade this road. It doesn't need to be the 3-lane bit all the way. What I'm going to do. This does slow this road down slightly. Yeah. I want one of them, but I want the one that doesn't have... It still has parking, but what it doesn't have is the markings on the side. That looks a little bit better, and then what we're going to do is bring a road off. I don't want it too near either of any of the junctions, so I'm going to bring it in here, and this is going to be the farm farm entrance, so that needs to be a little bit bigger. Just because that'll help things move in and out. While I'm here, I'm going to do this. Meter dashes up to about 2.5 meter spacing, maybe. 2.5 spacing, and then the bit I always seem to forget to do is just knock that down a little bit. There we go, that'll do. And make that into... Traffic coming out here gives way. There we go. Right, now, so this is going to be the farm entrance. Farm main buildings are... They're not massive, and they don't generate a huge amount of traffic, which is the good bit with them. So it can just sit there. There's some fencing and stuff needed to be along there. So what we need is some small crop fields first off. And... fairly obviously. Speed 50. Yeah, I don't really want the high speed roads. This is going to go... just purely because it doesn't feel right, a farm track being particularly straight. Although this bit down here is going to be, because this bit down here is going to be where the fields are. So I'm just going to do that. And that. And down here is going to be just fields. I'm not going to do anything else down here. Let's bring some pipes in. Because if I don't, nothing will grow, because it never rains in this country. I may have got that wrong. I think it does rain in this country, but never mind. So what we're now going to have is small crop fields down here, and I'm going to put in I'll put in a few. I'll put in 4 on each side, I think. I can afford 5. I can afford 4 for each side. There we go. 4 of those for each side, and then, as I said, up here is the processing area. So what we're going to have again is more road, which is going to come like that. And this is also going to want water, because everything does. And then we're going to go back into the farm, and we are going to stick in some of these. These are where the moo cows live. So if I put 4 of those in, There we go. That's burnt through most of my money. But that should be a reasonable sized farm. Yeah, it's not employing anybody as yet, but it will do. What I'm going to do is come down here and pick these. What do I want? Don't want greenhouse. Wheat. Wheat will do on these. This side here, wheat. A big wheat field. And this side is going to be potato. As a now sadly departed friend of mine used to say, potato. So, yes. Loretto, we do miss you. Suffice that to say. And then all along here is going to be a farm. I did start somewhere putting some fencing. Oh, it was elsewhere I put the farm fencing in. Round here, though, is going to get fenced because all of this is farm. So we come into here like this, we get this, and I want farm fencing. Because the farm fencing, I think, actually looks really rather nice. So again, we'll switch everything on, then everything off, and we're going to go from there to there. Nice little right angle fence there, because that looks rather good. And of course it doesn't matter that this takes the zoning off either, because we're not actually going to be building anything around here. If we do, it'll be based off roads further back. It won't be based off these roads at the front. There's an ambulance tailgating a police car. It's right, I'll just leave it. Yeah, like that for now. That's just a bit of a farm. You have to watch out putting trees in. Trees destroy arable land. However, the arable land here is all down here. These may get some fences put round them eventually. These will grow. There's like a double size and a double width large field. And as I get those available, they will be replaced with that. This should... We start to bring workers in. That's telling me I don't have any. That's telling me I've got 48 out of 50. So, yeah, anyway. 18 out of 20. So these... I think these come with workers. They come with some. They don't come with all the ones you need. Yeah, so that's that. Eventually we're going to start sticking in meat processing, butcher, all that sort of stuff will come up here. I'll say down here is just going to be fields. The roads may need upgrading at some point. Frankly, I don't care. That'll do. What else have we got over here? Now, see, so now we've got some slightly more interesting looking industrial buildings. So what I'm actually going to do is zone in some more slightly odd shapes. I'm going to come back here and remove those. Hopefully they'll grow back in as something that looks slightly more interesting. I don't mind a couple of them, I just don't want a whole row of the things, if that makes sense. We have some offices, which... the idea here is this is administration buildings and things that have cropped up. So, yeah. To be honest, that one really fits in, apart from the clown hat, obviously. I hate that clown hat. I'm going to leave the industry, though, because I think it works. Yeah. So, we've got farm... I'm guessing this is all showing 0 because everything's closed. It's not opened up yet. So what I'm going to do, get to 6 o'clock in the morning when things start to open, and we'll see how we go. Meanwhile, I think that looks quite good. Yeah. Do a few more bits and pieces knocking around it, but for now that will do. These are all moaning like mad because obviously they've got no people. Industry area. Yes, so the industry area is now... It's woken up, which is what I wanted. So down here we'll start growing things. I can put a couple more in, so what I'm going to do is one more there and one more there. Look at that. I'm going to make that into wheat, the same as the bits next to it. And then the thinking is, I've got a wheat field over here, and I've got a potato field over here. So yes, let's come in here with a fence. I'll run the fence there like that, and I'll do the same on this side. Because, well, basically because I think it looks a bit better. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll probably end up removing bits of them later, but not bother for now. Just, yeah, that works. And actually, I've got to say, this is one of the first times I've built a farm where I've actually got the space to really do it and make it look good. We'll see what these are going to be. Highland cows, Highland cows, Highland cows, Highland cows. Well, I don't mind them all being the same. But I'm quite pleased they're all the same. Obviously, people are going to have to walk all the way down here to these fields. Yeah, not ideal, but there we go. And these put out farm trucks, tractors. Yeah. Well, they'll do. I'm not bothered. Farm trucks and tractors. You have the tractors with the various trailers behind them, and some farm trucks. Yeah. There we go. Eventually, the cows will appear in those. So that's the next stage. Little bit of expansion done. Like I say, I had rather hoped that would sort itself out. I think what I'm going to have to do is put in some generic industry, but the generic farm industry, and then let farm. Let's put some of this in around here. Like that. I would say it's industrial specialisation farm. The beauty of the farm one is there's no pollution off it. So this can come over here like so, and then I'm just going to turn all that lot back on might as well at that point. What I'm going to do is come down here like this. That. I'm actually going to go into this road here. And I'm going to turn its zoning off. The reason for doing that is it maximises what I've got at the end here. So do that, turn the zoning off there. Right, this bit obviously also needs water because water. Again, turn the road grid lines off and I can get the pipe to go roughly where I want it to go. And then we're going to put in some of this industry over here. And I'll leave a bit of space towards the end there. I'm going to do that and that bit. And we'll see what spawns in. The idea there is I want to try and use up some of this industrial demand. This may make this road here quite busy. This potentially could be a bit of an issue depending on how things get in and out. It may put a lot of traffic on that road or coming up here. I'm not putting a bypass on it. What I am going to do, however, is just do that. So I can have 2 lanes there. There we go. So we have a couple of turning lanes. There's people coming in. Ooh, near the cows. The cows, the cows. Let's have a little look at the cows before we shut down for the night. Bright red cows catching the sunlight. That's a lot of moo. Yeah, so what have we got then? Well, we've added a park, which is a little bit basic at the moment, but it fills a bit of space. It looks reasonable. It'll generate a little bit of revenue, not really bothered by that. We have a new farm, which is somewhat busier than I was expecting. I might have to move some of the production fields, or at least put some more roads in. We have one of our older areas, which is maturing nicely as the properties upgrade. So yeah, quite pleased with that. Might do something else with that cricket ground. Here we have the little Tingewick area. It's little Tesco's. Well, that's actually being used this time. There are people in there. There are people in the garage. So yes, people walking about. This is our industrial estate that is down near. Near the railway. You can see the railway there. This is the other sort of the first industrial bit we did. Food plaza in the corner, post office. That's the point. Put more post offices in. Yeah, there's the sort of entrance there. It looks like the buses are being well used, which is good. I have to check on the public transport in the near future. I think in the next episode we'll see how the public transport's coming on. Otherwise, yes, very happy with that. As usual, likes if you liked, dislike if you disliked. Although if you do dislike, I would appreciate a comment as to why. What could I have done better? Obviously, the word "everything" isn't particularly useful there, but is understandable. And yeah, shares, subscriptions, all that usual jazz for YouTube. Greatly appreciated. Until then, I will catch you all in the next one. I wish you all a very good day, and goodbye.